So coming back to the second part, you want to add path into this the landscape what you just created through PCG, right? Just to start with the blueprint, right? Take anywhere on your you know the folder and start with blueprint class and search for an actor class actually. So just say it as a project and other things are set with blank blank underscore PATH path is my blueprint name. And just double click inside. And very first thing, what you can just do is go to this tags here, search for TAG, right? And start creating a new name for our curve here. So it is BANK underscore PATH underscore new. So this is the one path. Just keep this path in mind because we need to connect this path to our PCG graph. So just keep this in mind. I'm just copying right now for time being. Just keep that. And once you do, go search for called SPL spline. You can see we have a spline mesh right now. Got a mesh and nicely this one there. So what you can just do is you can select this point. You can just keep adding some points actually. So to add a point, hold Alt in the keyboard and just drag a line. So you can start creating a line there. Again, Alt in the keyboard, just drag. Then we're creating another path. Again, Alt in the keyboard, just drag, and then we're just creating a small path for you on your graph. So once it is done, just hit the button called compile and then save it. So before we start, select the spline and you can just go to this. Can you see there's an option called editor? Just for the visibility purpose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the visualization width here, enable it. So you can see that where the path is going on. I'm just increasing a little bit, like let's say 75, something like that. That's good. Good enough. And yeah, that's pretty much, can you see this path right over there? And if you want to increase more, you can just go ahead and do it. So let's keep doing this, something like this. That's fine now. So once you have a path, and then say compile, and then say save it. Now bring this path into your blueprint. You can see the blueprint there. That's good. So maybe if this blueprint is not matching to our composition, what you can just do is you can just select the manually these points. And for time being, I'm just suggesting it. Maybe once you add a PCG, it will be edited based on the curves and paths. So I'm just editing right now. That's good now. So just keep it like this. That's fine. So that's good. And this is say all. So now getting to this PCG graph, right? Now, very first, what you need to do is we need to bring that curve data, right? So search for an option called get spline. You can see we got an option called get spline data. That's good. Just bring it. So in this spline data, what we need to do is we need to change the filter type from here, from the self to all world actors. So it's going to bring our own actor, which is created in the blueprint. Now you can see it's an option called by tag. That's what the name we have been written. I'm just going to replace the name there. You can see that's blank underscore path underscore new. That is coming from where? From our blueprint class. If you remember, this is what we created under the text tab. You can see blank underscore path name. That's what we created now under the blueprint. So we just added that. That'll be there and enable this option called multiple. So that should be done. Next, once you're done, so pick this one. Now use an option called spine sampler. Spine sampler, just add a filter. Under the spine sampler, we can see this is being under there and just increase the subdivision point segments to 5 from this particular tab. That should be good enough. And make sure your mode is set to subdivision. That's by default if we are a subdivision mode, right? And then drop a mesh tool called bound modifier. Bound modifier, just do that. And this is the one which is going to control our PCG graph to here. And do you remember we started scaling by like around say 75 to 100 under our blueprint? Let me add the same value on your X and Y and just two axes. That should be good enough. All right, that's fine. So now what I just do is quickly, I'm going to disconnect our static meshes from your report. Maybe you can see right now. That's all good. Now, what you do is just enable only your decals, right? Just debug mode. You can see right now all are enabled. Now, what we need is we need to connect this information of spline data, wherever the spline sampler moves or the data moves, that should differentiate from your the current PCG graph, right? So for this node, what we're going to do is we're adding a node called as differences. Just deselect everything right now. Just in tab it and set as difference node. So bring the difference node. And even here also, I'm going to disconnect it. Perfect. So disconnect and output to the source and source to your this one and bring the difference node right over there. So it means the output to your difference segment. So the difference node, it should be, can you see this function right now? It's on a minimum, so just to bind it. That's what we need to do. Once you do, copy this one, copy, paste it, repeat the same process, source to output, and this out to your differences. Copy and paste it. So you can see this source to the output and go to your differences here. Now, by seeing these differences, you're already seeing the graph has been already getting updated. You can just see right now. And as you move on, you can see it's differentiating on your, that's good. Now, once you do, pick all your samplers, maybe just press D in a keyboard and just connect them up. Connect them up and connect them up. Now, nicely you can see the graph getting edited nicely as per our pattern. So that's pretty much we need to update it from our PCG graph through our splines method now, right? Hope this solution will be helpful and thanks for watching.